Good morning, nation. Finally getting over my cold. Ready to get back at this. We got the Jets to smack this Sunday night. Got to get my thoughts out before the weekend hits upon us. I got some stuff to talk about as it pertains to next week that I want to remind everybody about. And we're just going to hang out. Not sure who will be able to show up to a morning episode of Night of the Shield, but we're here for it. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Night of the Shield. I'm Jason Smith, a.k.a. the Oakland Knight, a.k.a. the Knight, a.k.a. the Blind Jedi. Pick and choose. You're watching Las Vegas Raiders News Review right here on the Independently Blind Studios. Yes, where we educate, advocate, motivate, and inspire others that are going through sight loss to live their best life, to overcome their obstacles. It doesn't matter what type of loss you're going through, we're here to support and motivate you. All right. All proceeds that are made from this show go strictly to Independently Blind Studios to help kids going in high school that are dealing with sight loss. All right. Nick 209's in the house. What's up, Night? We need this dub. We got to talk about it. It's going to be interesting. It's kind of a different expectation time right now for our Raiders, so we got to get into that, Nick. Welcome, man. Thanks for being able to join this morning. I want to do a little bit of housekeeping, too, before we kick the show off. Raider Scorpio 562, what's up, brother? Sin City, Las Vegas, tuning in. Welcome, brother. Welcome, Scorpio. Appreciate you, bro. Fire Bro, my dog's in the house. What's up, Fire Bro? Night. Hello. Nation. What's up, Fire Bro? Welcome, brother. Second time tune-up game before Miami. Facts, Fire Bro. Facts. That's one of the key things I want to talk about as we head into Sunday night's matchup against the Jets. But before we get started, I just want to remind everybody, first and foremost, that I will be definitely going live late Sunday night after the game to do a quick instant recap. Next week, things will be a little different around here. It might be a little quiet, or it might be some just regular uploads. If I can go live, remember, I'm headed off to Florida. Unfortunately, I don't get to go to the Miami game, but I will be doing an adventure with the Project Athena group. It's a group that helps people that have gone through tragedy kind of overcome something in their life, basically, and do this adventure. Kenny, you guys have met Kenny, my best friend Kenny that comes on here. We will be going up with a couple of other blind friends to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where we're going to be kayaking and biking across Florida to Key West. So I wanted to just remind everybody, I don't know what the videos will be like next week because I'll be traveling and, doing some miles up on the ocean up there and on the roads on the bike. So for those who are curious, I'll be on a tandem bike. I won't be riding and controlling the bike myself. Raider Combos in the house. What's up, Night? Welcome. Dark's here. Salute, Dark. My boy, what's up, man? Appreciate you. Raider Combo. Salute, chat. All right, with all that said, we're getting that out of the way. I'll probably have Kenny. Kenny's coming down this weekend. So Kenny's coming down from San Ho. We're going to do an independently blind outing tomorrow. So we'll be taking the kids out, the blind kids and some autistic kids out to a movie. We're going to take them to a 4K movie and get them experience with audio description, how 4K works. And then Sunday, we obviously have the game. I will be traveling with Kenny back to San Jose because that's where we're flying out of to go to Florida. So Kenny will be on this weekend doing the instant reaction, most likely. Fire, bro. Have fun, Night. I plan on it, man. I've been training pretty hard for this event, so I'm pretty cool. NorCal Raider Jesse's in the house. What's up, brother? Salute, Jason. Salute right back at you, brother. Welcome, NorCal Raider Jesse. Salute, Dark. Perfect, Fire, bro. Salute. You guys are the best, man. All right, let's go ahead and get my thoughts out so we can all have a conversation. Because things are interesting. Now, there's a lot of reports coming around, the injury report where our offensive line is a little banged up. I know a lot of people are concerned. I thought the offensive line responded well to Antonio Pierce and the changes with Marcilio and Hardigree. And they really performed at a high level. Now we're going up against a better defense, and this is the question mark, right? This is the warm up, the tune up before Miami, right? Like offensively, we got to figure out an identity and something that we can continue to grow with. A lot of reports, a lot of people talking about Hardegree designing a lot of different things and different plays that he's implemented that they think he's going to hold on to, little trickery plays, little different looks and such for teams like Miami and Kansas City, which makes sense. But I'm all about that just win baby attitude. So if you got to pull those out of your pocket this week, Hardegree, do so. But this is definitely a tune-up, especially offensively for this franchise, right? You know, I think Colt Miller will play. A lot of these people show up on the injury report, two reasons. A, they have to report any type of injury. And number two, especially veterans or anybody, they try to give them those extra reps, right? To take away those extra reps, not put them in there, let them heal, let their bodies get right. And a guy like Colton Miller, I think that is key, bro. Like that is our best offensive lineman. If you could rest him, let him rest. He's a veteran. He's very savvy. He's very good at what he does. Just let him get better. Benther's in the house. I see someone said salute to Benther. Where's Ben? Where's Ben at? I didn't see his comment. There he is. Raider Ben's in the house. What's up, brother? Good morning, Jason. Good morning to you, brother. I'm busy with work. I figure, man. That's why I'm shocked you're here. I appreciate you though, bro. So can't type. I'll be listening. Salute, Ben. I appreciate you, bro. I know y'all come from Ben's channel. A lot of you guys come from Ben's channel. I appreciate you guys, man. Ben's doing his thing over there. Help support him. I know he's trying to switch channels right now. So make sure that you're subbing to all his channels so he can get remonetized and get back on that train. All right. So let's continue. We need to offensively. I'll just start with this offensively since we're talking about the offensive line and what's happening there. I think we'll be fine. I know we brought Parker in on the practice squad. He's going to be that emergency offensive lineman that we may have to activate. We'll know more Sunday. But I know everybody's like, and he's like a cockroach, dude. You can't get rid of that guy, right? He's just always around. But he has played serviceable at times. So this is a good thing to be able to have a guy like Parker that's been around this organization his whole career that can come in here and produce if he has to. You know, I'm not going to be expecting him to be an all-pro coming off the practice squad after we cut him, and he's never really made the squad anyway. But, you know, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Raider Ben, thanks, Jason. Oh, man, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate all the Nation content creators that come on and they sacrifice their time, their family time, because we're a bond. We're a family. And I miss that. I really miss that. I mean, back in the day, early on YouTube, Ben, it used to be a different community, bro. So I really appreciate you and your crew and everybody that actually puts it together and stays close. And one day when I'm not working so much and my family starts to dim down, I'd like to get back into doing more collabs and stuff like that. I'll make time here this year as well, but shout out to you, Ben. So we got the offensive line issues. I think we'll be okay. I mean, we're not going to get any worse or any better. I think what we've seen this year is what we're going to get. You know, it's a hit and miss with our offensive line, and that's fine. What I want to see continue is Josh Jacobs being the horse again, right? Everything, any team, any offense, if you can get your running game going, it makes everything that much easier. It's the same with the defensive philosophy, right? You heard the Patrick Graham and everybody talk about it. Antonio Pierce, man, let me take another swig of my coffee. I got to wake up this morning. As obviously I got the day off. It's Veterans Day. Which reminds me, big shout out to everybody who serves in our armed forces. We appreciate you, all the sacrifices you made and are continuing to make to keep our country free. I know the world's getting really crazy out there, so let's make sure you're sending your love to anybody who served or is serving now as we celebrate this Veterans Day and giving me the day off. All right, so moving forward. Josh Jacobs, right? Stopping the run and creating a run game on both sides of the ball is how things kick off. We always talk about everything starts in the trenches. The next level to that is the run game. And he had 100 yards last week. I expect them to try to get him going early again. And then I also expect the offense to use a lot of bubble screens again, get O'Connell into a rhythm. To me, that's the only question mark offensively at this point. For the past 9 weeks, 8 weeks before they announced O'Connell taking over as our quarterback, we didn't know what to expect. we kept getting frustrated and looking at this offense and talking about how this offense has all the pieces. We just can't get it going. And it's so frustrating to know that you're paying that much money on the offense and have guys like Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfrow, Michael Mayer, Austin Hooper, who I know is a little banged up right now. We signed Jesse James. He'll be a good red zone threat. But we have all of these weapons. We saw Tucker and Carter get involved last week. Like there's weapons here. But we have to recognize and understand that we do have a rookie quarterback. They're giving him a lot of praise, talking about his poise, his calmness, his ability to learn the offense and stay calm under pressure. Those are all good things, but he's a rook. And a rook is going to make mistakes. I thought he held himself extremely well last week. Modest numbers. I mean, nothing that totally blows you away, but he protected the football. For the first time all year, we had no turnovers on the offensive side of the ball. Key, right? So you're just looking for this kid to grow, but you got to understand that he's going to have his mistakes. It's part of the game. So as long as he can control the turnover part of it and just mentally continue to work on the plays that Hardegree's designing, this is the opportunity to gear up for what's coming up. Dude, we got Watts up in the house. Man, dude, we got Benther and Watts back to back. What's up, Watts? Oakland Knight, what's up, bro? Right back at you, man. I got to get you on here too, man. I need to get some of these OGs up on here, man. Byron was here. I think last episode or the episode before, Byron was around. Raider John's always around. I want to get some of these old dogs up here, bro. I'd love to have something like that. Watts, Raider. Jacobs, whoop, it jumped on me. Jacobs running and keeping O'Connell comfortable is our identity. Fact. And he had to work hard for every one of those. You know, the other cool thing about when Jacobs gets going like that, he's very hard most of the time. And we've seen it more this year than years past, but that first guy usually don't get him. He'll break that first tackle every time. And that's key too, because that's how you wear down the defense, right? And I think that really helped us in the stretch, kind of keep the because we only got 6 points in that second half, but we were wearing down that defense with the run game. So I'd like to see that continue. Metal Slug's in the house. What's up, Metal Slug? The team is 100% behind AOC. Oh, facts, bro. They're true. They truly are, right? And this is an opportunity for him to have reps to get used to seeing defenses and disguise defenses and understanding how the whole process works in the National Football League. And I think last week he took some big strides, but it was let's face it, it was a more of a struggling team than even the Jets from a defensive standpoint too. Now I know offensively the Jets struggle. We'll get into the defense next, but this still is going to be a great opportunity for him to sharpen his game, right? And no better way, and we'll go ahead and transition to the defense a little bit. There's no better time than now, simply because the Jets' offense is where they struggle the most. Their quarterback has not been able to get in any type of professional type rhythm. That's why they brought in Rodgers to begin with, and we're looking for another quarterback. And the cool thing is not that I'm looking for O'Connell to make mistakes, but you can open it up a little bit more and have a little bit more faith that we're still going to be in the game, because our defense should be able to lock down Zach Wilson in the offense. It's not like, I don't take any team lightly. I never do, but it's a great opportunity to take that next step, because we need to get ourselves as close to running on full cylinders as possible to go against Miami. For sure. I think Miami will be our bigger challenge than even KC. And if we can handle ourselves against Miami, it makes our confidence against KC even that much better. Metal Slug. Bo just needs to keep the offense comfortable. I thought he did a great job in the game plan, Metal Slug. And not only did he keep them comfortable and keep it simple and got them into a good rhythm, he showed a lot. He showed that he has a creative side to him. And I think that it's going to get really, really interesting as the weeks go on. I've been banging the table big time, waiting for an offensive coordinator that's going to give us a little bit more creativity. And I'm not talking flea flickers that we were seeing from Josh McDaniels either, right? I'm talking about motion in the backfield, the thing that they had Jacoby Myers do last week on that 17-yard touchdown run, stuff like that. Mix it up, confuse him back there. Make some plays happen. Create some new bubble screens. Protect your quarterback. I thought he did a good job devising an offense that helps a rookie quarterback. Watts Raider, he also got to work on He's also got to work on that not throwing in double coverage. He might get Adams injured. Here's the thing with that, Watts. I agree with you, right? But this is one of Adams' complaints, right? This is why you got to be careful what you ask for. Adams used to getting those opportunities. Throw the ball up, he'll go make the play. He wants those opportunities. And I think it's about choosing when and where on the field that happens. Those little down the sideline opportunities are usually safer than him going across the middle. He's got to recognize the safety coming downhill, because that's where he's been getting popped and ripped. And I think those are the ones that he has to be careful with. But if you're a wide receiver and you say you're always open, you got to be prepared to know what's going on around you too. Have your head on a swivel and make the play. But I agree with you, man. It'd be nicer for it to be more cleaner. But if we're going to get Adams involved, unfortunately, there's going to have those 50-50 balls, or he's going to be able to catch that ball and get down. Let's see. He's got to work on, yeah. So we read that one. Rafi's in the house. What's up, Rafa? What's good, nation? Welcome, Rafa. Let's see. Benther Dark. He's shouting out the boys. Let's see. My brothers. All right. We got Watts Raider again. Like when we took the deep shot to Trey Tucker. You know what? I like the fact, because, I mean, it's funny because we were talking about it all year long. Like, where's Trey Tucker? We hear how explosive and how dynamic he is, and we actually seen little glimpses of it, right? And as a rookie himself, there's probably a little bit more extra nerves, and he dropped a few passes and stuff, but he's shown that big play ability. He's done it twice in the regular season now, one from Hoyer. Now he got another one from O'Connell. I like to see him on some in-arounds and some quick slants, even some bubble screens. I know he got caught up. He got tripped up on one last week. I like to see him correct that. And that's all in due time. But now that he's actually getting reps out there in the game, he's only going to get better. And we saw DeAndre Carter out there too. They used all weapons last week. It just shows you the arrogance of the last staff that was here, the ones that are not here now, how arrogant they were on just developing or holding guys out for certain reasons and putting Hunter in there, but not using him. We had Hunter sightings last week, right? Everybody got involved. Use all your tools. It's another way to keep defenses honest. We have the weapons. This is what we've been talking about all offseason. With all the weapons that we have, if you utilize them correctly, then you can control the front. You can control the narrative, because they can't cover everybody. It's going to be impossible. And it's not about being overly explosive. It's not about having like 20 Devontae Adams on the field. It's more like, each level, each person has a talent, and that talent is route running and getting open. So you use Hunter, you use Jacoby, you use Devontae in those situations, and then when you loosen the defense up, you bring in our speedsters to really open the field and take that shot, and it works. It just works. Watts, busting up. Dark, salute at Rafa. All right, guys. So continuing the defensive talk, Max Crosby got recognized for mid-season defensive player, right? He's really in that mix. He's leading the league in pressures. He's second in sacks. The guy's all over the place. If this guy stays healthy, he has a really good shot for it, especially if we can start supporting him as a team fully and start winning some more games. It kind of sets him up, and he should be recognized, dude. I was thinking about this last week. And I was talking because of all the drama that's happened this year. And I was sharing with everybody how I refrained myself from buying anything new. And I normally would not buy a current player's jersey simply because, they got to earn it. Well, I think Max earned that. So when I'm ready to open up the wallet and buy that jersey, it will definitely be a Max Crosby jersey, hands down. I mean, he is the epitome of what the Raider way is, period. Hardworking, lunch pail guy, relentless, high energy, doesn't take no crap. He'll punch somebody in the mouth if he has to. He is the epitome of what the Raider way is. Anybody that's not been around or been a fan for a long time and really wonders what that Raider way is, and you're looking for something current, look up Max Crosby. The definition of the Raider way in 2023 is Max Crosby. Watts Raider. Let's see. Center. Oh, no, I didn't see him. Hold on. Carter and Tucker on screens, most definitely. And Hunter finally got the ball, and he was breaking tackles. He looked like the old 2017, 2018 Hunter Renfrow. Let's see, or was it 2020 where he had the 1,000? But I mean, that was a different scenario. Mayer in the red zone. There's a lot of talent. You're starting to see, especially in maybe not so much, getting into his own in the blocking game yet, and he's still making mistakes, Mayer is. But in the passing game, this guy is starting to continue to show up. When he gets opportunities, not only is he making great catches, but he's getting that yak yards. I really was impressed by the backward. He had the wherewithal to go backwards, to pedal backwards to get those extra 2 yards last week. I thought that was pretty amazing. Let's see. I'm not working today, so why am I getting so many notifications? Yeah, we good. All right. Watts. Max is becoming a Raider great. Fact. He is definitely on that trajectory. In fact, minus anything major happening physically, he will be a Raider great for sure. One that we'll be talking about for generations. 303 Raider, what's up? Salute Nation. Salute to you, brother. Raider Scorpio. Crosby will be a Hall of Famer. Without a doubt. And his sacks numbers are starting to really creep up there. He's starting to really break through these double teams. And then you're starting to see other guys step up. Even Wilson's name is being called a little bit more. He's getting these half sacks here and there. He's coming along, right? The middle of this defense, they actually rotating these guys in, and you're starting to see Matthew Butler really come to life, and he's got a real good rapport with Max Crosby too, right? Belon Nichols was getting into that action. So there's a lot of things happening positive over the last few weeks. And the defense continues to move that needle. Remember, I keep saying that and keep so when you guys hear me say that, what I'm talking about, right? So for the first time last week, we actually got to see the needle of the offense actually make some progression, right? It moved forward. No turnovers. We won the game. We were taking shots downfield, making big plays. The running game got going. So now we got to consistently start seeing that needle move in the right direction to know that we're on the right track. Because with interim coaches and changing everything mid-season, it could go either way, right? So I'm not necessarily judging this team right now off the final results of a game. I just want to start seeing these things start coming true, right? I want to finish strong. If that leads us somewhere, that's a winner chicken dinner, right? That means Antonio Pierce should be a lock. But I'm at the point, because I keep hearing that talk too, right? Antonio Pierce is the future, and he may be. And because of who he is and how he's handling himself, he's given me a new perspective of how I'm viewing a head coach. So I'm kind of rooting for him to a certain degree, but I'm more about just getting it right. If he goes out there and he earns his stripes right now and he shows enough, and it's not about, people keep saying, well, if we can make the wild card, make the playoffs, he should be a lock. I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think even if we show that he can get this team to play, especially after everything the first half of the season gave us, that's what you're looking for. Could this work? Could the style of Antonio Pierce mixed in, because I think tied to him too is Bo Hardigree. And Patrick Graham seems to be pretty positive, and he's under contract. I think this could be the future if it all works right. And that's talking about that needle I want to keep seeing it move. Progression constantly. Watts Raider, Max was, let's see. Max was finally beat up Tommy DeVito. Hold on. Max was finna beat up Tommy DeVito. No, he's got that wild streak. He likes to fight. He likes to do UFC type stuff in the offseason too. Watts Raider. Yeah, the defense is developing. And it kind of, it's funny how things work, right? Because, I'll be honest with you. I was scratching my head and wondering what we had in Patrick Graham. And I saw a lot more aggression, not a lot more, not to the extent that I'd like to see this defense develop to, but you saw a little bit more aggression last week, especially by the way they played. But you also saw more dialed up blitzes. So they played a little bit more aggressive, and I'm wondering if we're going to start seeing another side ourselves to Patrick Graham as he starts to open this thing up a little bit. At least that's what I'm hoping for. but he's consistently kept that needle either where it was at or moved it forward constantly all year. You've seen this defense get better and better, so I'm really excited for that. And they're going to have to hold it down this week. There's going to be a lot of pressure in that sense for this defense not to have a week where they relax. This is going to be an opportunity for them to peel their ears back once again and go get it. And again, they got the big challenge of stopping that running game. If they can focus on that first and really lock down the running game, that's where we need to move the needle next. Watts Raider, since Patrick Graham moved to the booth, the defense got better. Well, it did. I think he's seeing the game better up there. I'd like to keep him there. If it's not broke, don't fix it type attitude. But I also want to see him, without the restraints of a head coach with an ego. I'd like to see him kind of more become his own again and really trying to figure things out. Greg Atkins is in the house. What's up, brother? Welcome. There's 6 of you in 6 of you in violation. Hit them likes. Greg Atkinson, I appreciate you, brother. I'm really bad at that. I totally want your guys' support, but and it's not a pride thing. I just forget. So we got 18 of y'all in here, or 17 now. We got 12 likes. Greg, you scared someone away. It's all good. Hit them like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be updated every time I go live or make more videos, which that's coming as well, especially next week because I'll be in Florida. Wish I was going to the game, but I'm doing something else that's going to be pretty special. Greg Atkinson, what's up, Knight? What's up to you, Greg? I appreciate you, brother. Mud Tide, afternoon, all sup. Jason, what's up, Mud Tide? Welcome, brother. Appreciate you. Let's see, we got, El Brown Julio. El Brown Julio. Awesome, brother. Let's see, Nesta Jade has old man strength. I hope we pick him up for a long time. Oh, I hope we look him up for a long time. Lock him up. Yeah, you know what? I think we will. He's getting more opportunities with this new regime. He was in there last week. He brings another fire. And I'm almost kind of happy that McDaniels kind of held him back because that's going to even put that chip on his shoulder more prominent. And I think he does. He got strength, bro. And I think he's going to develop into something nice. And mid-season form, this is where you give these guys the opportunities. Look, when you go interim coach, you got a guy like Antonio Pierce that is a coach's coach, right? He's going to be hard. He's going to be fun. He understands what the players are wanting to look for and what they want. He's trying to fight for it. He has an opportunity here, right? So for him, it's just about going out there and raising the level of everybody. He's fighting for, I don't want to say he's fighting for his job because it's something that was given to him, but I think he would love to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders and bring some of that Compton swag that he has. Watts, what do you know about Pierce, Watts? Let's see, Watts Raider, the players want Pierce. Mark Davis, we got to talk about this. Mark Davis ain't choosing no more coaches. Champ Kelly, right? Champ Kelly was behind Pierce too. And that's what we have to wait to see develop, right, Watts? Like, how's Mark going to handle this? I think Mark's definitely going to take a different approach. And I think one of the biggest factors that is not talked about, because there's some couple of things that have been floating around out there, which none of it's been, at least the things that I've read or listened to, have been concrete about what direction Mark may or may not go. But I think Champ has a perfect chance to be the GM, and I think Antonio Pierce has a real shot if he continues to get this team to respond to him. I think he's got a nice young little offensive coordinator he's building up right now, which is something you want. All these guys are going to come and save Mark a little bit of cheddar, and I hate to have that approach and think that Mark is willing to hold on to his money now, but there's a lot of people that have come out and said, I think it was Gronk himself came out and was like, hey, man, these coaches are getting all this guaranteed money, and we don't even give half our contracts guaranteed. And it's such a great point, and it's the first thing I was thinking about. I mean, hey, it's Mark's fault for having to pay $100 million in all these fees to people that are not here anymore. But at the end of the day, I mean, someone's got to be bold enough to make a contract to earn your right to be here. Come in, and you're not going to get that if you go back to these retreads or coaches like John Gruden or Jim Harbaugh. You're not going to have that. They're going to want more then we should be giving up at this point. We need a whole new direction. Just as much as we need to develop the team, we need to develop our coaching staff and a new identity in this organization. Just my thought. Mud Tide. Nobody in media brings up Plexico Burress, Antonio Pierce. But again, bro, if we were all judged by the past, then none of us will grow as men. Ladies too, but I mean, obviously I'm a man, so I'm talking from a man's perspective, right? As a man, I am who I am today because of the mistakes that I've made. You have to grow. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of skeletons in Antonio's closet, but there's a lot of skeleton in all of our closets. And the ones that try to act like they don't have skeletons probably have more. Just saying. Watts Raider. Yeah. I seen Nesta Jade. He is strong. He not only is he strong, bro. I think because he's undrafted, he's gonna bring that extra. Oh, I think we drafted him later. I can't remember now. Someone correct me in the chat. Watts Raider. I was surprised. No, that boy is strong, and I knew friends and family members both. Right. I actually had a stepson. Shout out to my stepson. He's serving some time right now, so I hope he's doing well. I don't know if he has YouTube and still watches this, but much love to him, man. I know he's made some mistakes. That's a perfect example, right? We all make mistakes, but he's learning them right now, right? But that boy, when you looked at him growing up, he was just really tall and lengthy and skinny, but strong as hell. You know, you could go and you could hit the weight room and you could pump weight. Some people are just born naturally strong, and when I see Nesta play, he's just one of those naturally strong dudes. Watts, I was surprised. Greg Atkinson, AP just got a win, Watts. You know, he just has to keep moving that needle, like I said, right? The wins, yeah, it's going to help him tremendously, and especially if he can win out more than he loses. But at the end of the day, you could tell the team dynamic. You could tell if the team is continuing to respond to him week in and week out just by energy and the way that we play. If we start competing and really like start losing close games and not getting blown out and losing to undrafted quarterbacks and all this other crap, like we'll be good. D Nightwalker, hoping AP gets the job because I like him. I like his attitude too. That I want to talk about. We'll talk about more about that right now too. But I'm with you. I'm with you that if by the end of the season, it's clear he's not it. Yep, you're saying it for me. Cool, man. Then I'm good. I'm good with someone else. Just win. Fact. I like the idea. And then I mentioned this last week, and I'm going to bring it up again right now. For me, what I'm looking at is a couple of different things. I'm looking at it from a couple of different angles. Number one, Mark Davis's checkbook. He owes a lot of money to a lot of people right now. I know he wants to win, but you got to be smart. If a Jim Harbaugh or John Gruden come knocking back at your door and they're wanting you to put up 10, 20 million more dollars and all these guaranteed money, I just wouldn't do it. I don't think anything in life is guaranteed. You still have to go and earn it. And when you pay the piper before they earn it, that's what's going to get you in trouble. I think you're at an opportunity right now to where you could find an up-and-coming coach that you could pay a reasonable price. The guy's still going to make millions of dollars, right? He's still going to be paid well. But give him the opportunity to go and earn it and show that not only does he want this gig, but that he's willing to work to get it. And right now, from what we see, Antonio Pierce is that dude. He's that dude. He's the one that's giving me the perspective that I come to understand for myself, which is a coach's coach, right? A player's coach. His job is to come in here and keep this team focused, keep them energized, keep them motivated to want to go out there and work harder than Max Crosby, so to speak. And he's got a guy, Max, backing him up as well. But then he's got true offensive coordinators, true defensive coordinators. What I mean by true is that's their only job. Their job is not to manage the day in and day out of the franchise and how everything's lined up and ran. They don't have to watch every bit of the game and worry about who's throwing the red flag and not. Their job is to literally coach the offense, coach the defense, coach the special teams, and then the head coach manages that. He could put his identity, he could put his energy into that. And that's what intrigues me the most, because lately we keep going with these people that think that their way is the only way, right? all the way back to John Gruden. I know there's still John Gruden lovers. Look, I owe a lot to John Gruden too. Some of my personal best memories was when John Gruden was head coach. Season ticket holder since 95. I got to sit there and be at every single game. I watched every single Oakland Raider football game that John Gruden coached. I went to every playoff game. I was at the AFC Championship game when we beat Tennessee. Like, look, I owe a lot to John Gruden in that sense, right? Those were some of the funnest times of my Raider life. But I also know that everybody has a ceiling, and he hit his, in my opinion. And now he wants to be more of a football mind than a football coach. I'll say that again, so hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from. John Gruden wants to be more of a football mind than a football coach. Now, this last thing that he went through, that might have humbled him a bit, but I still think he would walk in here with the John Gruden swagger and still wanting to be the control of everything, right? The controller of everything. We just saw that again with McDaniels, which was sold to me differently, by the way. All the reports and things that are coming out now show that like, I'm done with that whole philosophy. And I get it because Mark's like, hey, I don't know football, or he's taking that approach and he's bringing in guys that he think that can do both. So it takes the pressure off him to make those decisions. But Mark, it's time for you. Like, football's not that hard, bro. No one's asking you to be a head coach. No one's asking you to be head of scouting or be the GM of this football team. But I mean, just turn on YouTube. All of us are over here talking about it. None of us have worked in the NFL. None of us have played in the NFL. It doesn't take much to figure out what works offensively, what works defensively, players in the draft that, is a no-brainer to pick. Now, granted, after you get out of that second, third round, things get a little bit unclear and it's more of a gamble. But man, we can't draft first round for anything. So, you could still follow that stuff yourself and help make those calls without getting too involved, but stop bringing in guys that want to be you and act like this is their team. You got to, this is where I like Antonio Pierce. Compton raised, loved the Los Angeles Raiders. And I always say, man, that was the explosion of the Raider Nation, right? They continue that legacy in LA that they brought over from Oakland, took it back to Oakland. It continues. We need to find that heart and life in Vegas. We haven't had that moment yet. Antonio Pierce seems to be giving us that Raider way that we're talking about. And then you add Max Crosby to that. Hell yeah. D. Nightwalker, hope AP gets the job. Did I just read this? Because, yeah, okay, I read this one already. But good stuff, D. Nightwalker. I appreciate that. I went on a little rant. But Watts Raider, Amik Robinson is becoming a really good cornerback. And here's the thing, Watts. Like, can he become that every down cornerback? Maybe not, right? Maybe his size does give him limitations against certain matchups in certain games. But, dude, he's a dog, right? He's a dog, and he makes plays, and he is aggressive. I like his aggressive play. Does it get him in trouble at times? Yeah. But some of the biggest plays that we've had this season on defense has been Amik Robertson, right? Not only is he developing, but he's that guy that's hungry, right? That's the Raider way. You know what I would say when you got a player like Amik Robertson? You challenge your safeties to help him out because he will get you picks the way he's playing. He will jump routes. I like that. All right, let's see here. I got to read this name. Hold on. I got to make it a little bigger. All right, so let me see if I say this right. DeLeon is money. DeLeon is money. I think I got it right, actually. DeLeon is money. Welcome, brother. As much as JMD and Ziegler sucked, they had a pretty good draft class. Well, later rounds, yes. I think, I don't have a problem with Tyree Wilson. You're starting to see him develop, so I'm cool with that. I'm not going to keep kicking a guy when he, it wasn't his fault. He didn't ask to be drafted at that spot, right? And he was a developmental piece. I don't think drafting a developmental piece at this point in time was smart, but we'll see what the final outcome is for a guy like Tyree Wilson. But I think I like the rest of the draft. It's solid, and you're right, DeLeon is money. Like that is, you start looking at some of the people that are producing, Jacorian Bennett, Michael Mayers, Byron Young, or Bryce Young. No, Bryce Young's quarterback. Byron Young. We haven't seen him develop yet, but, coming into year 2, he'll come into his own. You got Nesta Jade. You got Marnie Burney, who's out there making plays right now. He got some growth. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's trash. Like, dude, he played quarterback. He's played corner. He's played safety. He's got to get some size to him and learn the position. So there's potential there, just like Diablo, right? So I'm with you. There was a really solid draft, and there's a lot of players out there that are going to be making plays. So let's keep an eye on it. Tucker is another one that they drafted. It was a pretty solid draft. I'm not going to lie. I just think if they would have drafted Carter, it could have been a lot different. And I understand, some people's argument why we shouldn't, and then other arguments why we should have, but it is what it is. Mud Tide. John Gruden loses his head coach job for name calling. And the thing is Mud Tide, look, like there's I like John Gruden's swagger, right? He's that guy, right? Right, brother? He's that guy. Let me tell you something, right? All that stuff, right? That's John Gruden. I get it. He's a personality just as much as he's a head coach. And I don't think he lost his job fairly. I think it's unfair how that whole thing was handled. And now the NFL finds himself in a peculiar situation for that too, right? But there is another part of John Gruden that I don't like. If you tell me John Gruden is going to come in here, put his head down, and just coach football like Antonio Pierce is doing, I'm down. I'm down to bring Gruden back. But I don't want John Gruden, the GM, John Gruden, the head scout, John Gruden, the offensive coordinator, only solely, not bringing somebody up to help him. I want some legitimate chain of command, and that's what this organization needs, right? Structural command, GM, scouting team, someone who's in charge of football operations. All of that needs to happen. All of that needs to happen. Watts Raider, yeah, if we can at least win 8 games, you should keep AP. There is something too about having a guy that can raise the level. And I say that to even the players on the field. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to start calling names out right now, but just certain players being able to raise the level of other people on the field. I'll bring up some names. I think Robert Spillane does that. I think Max Crosby does that. And even though I haven't been fully impressed with Marcus Epps, he does that for the secondary. He truly does. Those guys are key for those reasons. AP does that across the board, and his coaches. That needs to be considered, and winning will help all. So I'm with you, Watts. Raider Combo. I did hear Champ Kelly might have been the GM first if it wasn't for the package deal with Ziegler and McDaniels. I've been hearing that same rumor too. And this is a guy that I think has an upper hand. And that's the other thing that I haven't talked about. And I know this is supposed to be the Lions preview. So let me switch gears real quick. And this is why this kind of game, and I'll bring it back to the Jets this Sunday night. For me, it's really about seeing the whole organization come together. So, yes, we're looking for W's, not L's. But we're also looking for change because what was here before wasn't working, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So I key on that a lot. But then you're talking about just the whole management of the football team. This is where Champ has that opportunity, right? And if we could get this to work, if AP can come in here and keep things moving, but moving that needle I keep talking about, and then Champ is just kind of overseeing things, and he's already made some interesting decisions on the back end, bringing in Jalen Smith. He's brought in Jesse James, brought back Parker. He's doing his job of trying to keep this team pieced together as we move forward. But you're also talking about keeping camaraderie that these guys didn't get the full extent of, right? That's why AP's job is so important. So this week, it's another opportunity for this offense to take the next step, the defense to get more aggressive and play aggressive and really go out there and stop that run, number one. But then if you could bring back Bo Hardegree and you can keep Patrick Graham to him to continue to develop the personality of this defense, with a guy like AP to keep things moving, Champ Kelly, who's been a part of what's happened the last 2 years. He knows what went wrong. He knows what went right. He's got a rapport with the scouting department. You may lose a guy here or there. That always happens, but you continue to replace it. You keep that system. It seemed to be working. Because I'll be honest, the scouting team, obviously, deal on his money, brought it up. It was not a bad draft when you start looking at players that are contributing. So the system itself, the scouting system of it, the player evaluation part of it seemed to be fine. You just take that next step and start proving the decision makings then now we're talking business. Now we're talking ball, dude. We're putting money back into the game. The Raider way back in the game. And then let's get used to that because we're going to be saying a lot of that, right? Raider combo, not sure how true that is, though. And again, like we just talked about, Raider combo, right? Does it matter? Not necessarily, because you know that he's been up for several GM jobs. But now that he has one, interim or not, he knows what's been going on. It has everything. I mean, there's the coaching, the motivating, the leadership was bad. Some of the other stuff wasn't so bad. So continue to build off what was started, but make it the Raider way, not the Patriot way. Yep, I said it. Nick 209. We know how the defense is getting better. I'm excited for our offense too. And again, that is key. That is key for me. And I'm a defensive guy, right? I'm loving. I did not expect our defense to be playing as well as it has this season. But I expected this offense to take that next step, and it didn't. It fell flat on its ass, and I don't like what we see. It's boring. It was methodical. It was predictable. There was no creativity. They weren't using your weapon. I don't know why ego. And that's all coming out now. I mean, all more dirt has been dropping out about that guy's personality that probably we want to hear because it just shows how bad the decision was to bring him in here to begin with, but that's fine. It is what it is. You can't change the past. You can only look forward. But there's some talent on this offense. And I think that ruins any credibility that man had as an offensive coordinator because there is some mad talent on this football team. D. Nightwalker. Someone needs to tell owners that if you want everything up, if you tell owners, it jumped on me, damn it. So we need to tell the owners, if you want the Patriot way to work, you need to hire Bill Parcells, fact, as a coach, general manager, and have him set everything up for the next guy. Because that's exactly what he did for Bill Belichick. Bill Parcells, to me, right? Bill Belichick, gets that nod simply because he took over for Bill. He was a Bill understudy to begin with, and he was able to keep it going in New England. But trust me, that was a Bill Parcells system. He did it in the Jets. He did it in Miami. He did it for the Cowboys. He did it across the board consistently. He was, able to go and build these teams. Bill Parcells was an excellent football mind. Watts Raider. AP ain't gonna cost you. Ain't gonna cost you. Mark Davis and the players like him. It makes sense, bro. Right? And so as it stands right now, Watts, we're looking down, we're looking at what's going on with the team, and we're like, yeah, dude, AP's the man, right? AP's the man. He's got this team going. He changed it over really fast. Other guys have done this, especially in week one, so we want to see it continue week in and week out as he pushes forward with this football team. But it's a no-brainer right now. We can make every argument in the book that AP is the next guy moving forward, right? We like him. Players like him. Owner likes him. But you still have to see it all come together, right? It makes sense. That's why we're rooting for it, because it makes sense for everybody. Everybody's happy. Everybody's playing hard. If that continues, it's going to save Mark some money at the cut, And you guarantee, Mark's already shown that he'll open up the wallet. But AP is a guy that'll actually go earn it. And AP has done that his whole career. He's used to that. Undrafted free agent, came in and earned everything that he's got. He earned his name. It wasn't given to him. He has that same opportunity as a head coach. I'm excited. So hopefully it continues to work out. Greg Atkins, I remember when a head coach was only that. Me too. I remember when that was the only thing you had to worry about. You coached the football team. You went out and found an offensive coordinator. You went out and found a defensive coordinator. Now, look, it's become in recent history, too, even going way back to probably when I was in high school, I started hearing it. I wasn't covering and trying to do what I do today and really getting all into this stuff. But, you looked at offensive coordinators. You looked at defensive coordinators. That was the next step, right? You came up under someone's tree. You were a quarterback's coach, turned offensive coordinator. That's pretty much everybody's story, dude. You can go back. That's John Gruden's story. What's the other one? Mariucci story, right? He was with Favre, and you kind of make your name and you start moving up the ranks, and then opportunity comes and you take it. And some pan out, some don't. And it usually starts from making a name from yourself as an offensive or defensive minded coach. We hear it all the time. All the time. However, you can put your personality into your football team. So you take that offense, you can oversee it, teach it to your coordinator, but be more hands off. Like, you're on the sideline, dude. You could step in at any given point and be like, hey, we need to try this. You're not doing this. I need you to do this. That would work way better than you trying to be that guy to make all those decisions, plus manage the game, make sure your defensive coordinator, your special teams coordinator, that everything's gelling right. It's very, very hard to do. Very, very hard to do. Antonio Pierce has that ability because he's a team leader. He's a leader by nature, that he has the opportunity to just roam the sidelines and make things work. Robert Torres, do you think Jimmy would look different with Bo as the play caller? Or is he washed? It's a good question, man. My personal thought, Robert, to be honest with you, is Jimmy's washed. Now, does that mean he wouldn't look different under Bo? I know. I definitely think he would look different under Bo. I think things would be a lot smoother if Jimmy had that same type of offensive play calling that Aiden O'Connell got, and got a little bit more comfortable and wasn't getting smacked all the time. Then, I think it could be different for Jimmy. But are we going to get a younger Jimmy or the older Jimmy? He's still the older Jimmy. And Jimmy's always had a problem of either pushing the narrative. And I remember listening to, who was I listening to? It might have been Black and Silver Today, who brought on a Niner beat writer who was talking about giving him a Jimmy, meaning giving the ball away, right? He's known to give one away every game. And we consistently seen that on this football team. The other thing that I saw, Robert, was a guy who just didn't have the arm strength anymore. And I'm not picking on Jimmy just because, he's done horrible, whatever. It's a part of sports. It's a part of life. I've been training for this Florida trip, dude. I ache all the time. That's because I'm getting older, right? Your body doesn't respond as well as it did when you were younger. And then you start adding injuries and other issues to that. His time has come, man. This is it for Jimmy. And I'm not putting him down. I'm not saying get the bum out of here. Did we overpay him? Yeah, probably. Do I blame the man for taking the opportunity? No. And from a human being to human being and understanding the profession, and he's an athlete, this is what he does, I do feel for him. I'm not going to sit here in front. I don't want to see anybody go through that. But, yeah, I don't think Bo would have saved what we got out of Jimmy. It's unfortunate. Age gets everybody. But I don't think Jimmy was ever himmy, ever. I don't think he was ever him. Greg Atkins, everyone on offense is better with Bo. And that's the one thing that, I think that watching Bo and his development, Greg, is going to be more interesting than watching AP in his development, just because the roles are different, right? AP's job is to lead men. And when you're a natural born leader, it comes naturally. It comes naturally for Bo. For Antonio. So you're going to continue to see that being his strength. Bo, coming from a quarterback's coach into this opportunity, he's got a lot of work to do. He's got to design plays. He's got to design his own offensive personality. He's got to go in and teach that and put that in mid-season and continue for it to be successful with a rookie quarterback. So think about all that I said, right? Like, that's what Bo's at. That's a big task. And he did well week one on a short week. So there's promise. We need to continue to see that moving forward. And what Bo showed to me that makes me intrigued and excited for Bo Hardegree is he's willing to adapt to his players, unlike the last person that was here. And that is probably the biggest key from any type of positional coach, any type of coordinator, is your ability to know how to use the players you got. And if they're not the right one, you bench them. You just bench them. Doesn't matter what you decided to pay him. Either it works or it don't. Let me see. Watts. Jimmy G is limited, but doesn't give up. He doesn't give up the best chance. He doesn't give him the best chance to win. He's a backup. He's a backup to me. Yeah, no, I get that. He's definitely a backup, and he'd be a solid backup right now too, right? An expensive backup, a very expensive backup, but a guy that I don't, things happen, so I don't want to necessarily put that out in the universe. But if something happens with AOC, then you could be pretty confident that a guy like Jimmy G is your backup, because again, your backup is not the guy that you're turning to win it all. But he is a solid backup. He's a solid backup quarterback. Get you through the week, maybe if necessarily push you through the season. But coming in and putting everything on him, not my thing. Mud Tide, Jason, we smarter than the NFL. The NFL guys, laugh out loud. Mud Tide, like, I agree with you. And that tells you something, right? I am not a foil hat guy. I'm going to tell you what I think some of it is, Mud Tide, right? If it was purely up to the owner, you would see more of who is the elite and who's not the elite, which is a good thing, because I don't think Mark Davis would be elite at being the owner and full-on leader, decision maker of this football team. But because the way organizations are built up, you're talking about egos and pride from the top down, whether it's ownership, whether it's football operations person, all the way to your president, all the way to your general manager, your scouts, your head coaches, your coordinators. And it's a battle game to who has the most power. And the person with the most power wants, we'll sit here. I don't expect for you all to agree to anything that I say, and nor should you expect for me to agree to your opinion. That's the whole part of what an argument is. An argument doesn't have to be negative. An argument doesn't have to be violent. An argument is just simply two people having a conversation, stating their case, and then trying to come to some solution. And sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. The one that has the power in the conversation in football terms, meaning in this case, we know now that it was McDaniels over Ziegler, right? Then McDaniels was always going to win the argument, especially because his ego, he wasn't humble enough to listen to Ziegler, to listen to other people around him and make a team decision. Most organizations that are successful, to me, I would have to believe, and I'm not there, so I can't say this 100%, but you would have to, at least the chain of command. That's why I keep saying the chain of command is important. That's why I like what we're seeing now, because it's clear. Mark's the owner. Mark says, Champ and AP, you're the people, right? Champ, your job is to go find talent, run the scouting department, bring talent in here. AP, you take these guys, you motivate them. You work with your coordinators, you find out, you tell them to get your personality, how to use these guys, and find guys that are able to work with people. There's more of a chance that scenario works than bringing in one guy that only believes in what he thinks. He wants to be the guy on his own, make all the decisions, make all the calls, get all the glory. That's what we just saw. That's what we just hired. And the coach before that was a lot of the same type of person. But let me tell you, let me just say, he wasn't as bad though, right? I think that he would at least listen to other people. I mean, when it came down to it, I think that he made some stupid decisions too, but bring structure back into an organization. I think it'll pay big dividends. Sam Tanaka, salute night. Salute to you, Tanaka. Appreciate you, brother. Watts Raider. Also, just want to say, Marcus Peters playing like a savvy veteran, doing little things. Marcus Peters is Marcus Peters, right? Again, I mean, compare him to Jimmy G only in the sense of father time. Okay, are we able to get the Marcus Peters that Baltimore had? No. Are we having the Marcus Peters that Kansas City had? No. It's just the reality, right? This has always been Marcus's game. It's something that I haven't necessarily been prone to because I didn't follow him like that because he wasn't a Raider. There's been plenty of cornerbacks, successful cornerbacks, playmaking cornerbacks in this league that didn't like to tackle. I'll throw another name out there that we all know, that we all want to be a head coach possibly, right? Deion Sanders. That guy didn't like to tackle, bro. He didn't like to hit people. He was a playmaker. That's what Marcus Peters is. Do I like it? No. Would I like to see more pick sixes from him? Yeah. Has he had those opportunities? Has he put himself in those positions? Can he still do it? Yeah, I've seen it. Him dropping the ball is, there's a reason why he's a corner. But, because we see him have those opportunities, yeah, it would be game changing if he would make those plays. But let's keep in mind, he still broke up the play, right? He still made a good defensive play. And I think that's lost in the equation. But, again, sometimes you got to take the strengths and just stop worrying about the weaknesses, because sometimes you just can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'll take Marcus Peters' strengths right now. I mean, I don't want it long-term, but right now his strengths have helped this team. Watts Raider, Bernie been playing good. You see Bernie's ability, right? You see the potential that he has. So you just have to develop it, bro. You have to develop it. He's undersized for a linebacker. And that saying is he's even undersized for a hybrid linebacker, right? But you could do a lot of different things with Bernie. Ex-quarterback, ex-cornerback, ex-safety, now playing linebacker. Trust me, those are the kind of hybrid type players you want to see transition into that position because of the tight ends and the things that they're asked to do. And you see Bernie out there balling. You see him out there pushing. So as long as he keeps that mindset and keeps pushing forward, that might look pretty damn good down the road. De Leon is money. What's up, brother? We missed on Jalen Carter. Yeah, that's huge, bro. That's the only thing. And again, I agree with you. And had we done that, this draft would be pretty damn good, dude. Not more than good. I think it would be one of the best in the NFL for this past draft class, for sure. Watts Raider, he done dropped it, but the 3 interceptions though. And that's the thing. That's probably the only uncharacteristic thing. And for whatever reason, right? I think he's a player on the rebound, Watts. I think he's a player that's in his head right now, and he's trying to make a comeback. Look, that pick 6 was beautiful. That's prototypical Marcus Peters. And he's had other opportunities to do similar things. But let's not take away the fact that he still broke up the play, right? He's still making his presence known. We like to see him become more of that guy that actually makes those interceptions and even takes them back to the house. I'm rooting for him. And he still has it. He's just not going to be as effective or fast about it as he was in his younger years. It's called father time. Nick 209, Zach White, horrible draft pick. Zamir White. Yeah, with Zamir, I mean, there's a place for him in the league somewhere. There just is. On this team, no. There's a role he could play on some team somewhere. I really believe that. I think he has the speed and certain characteristics that he's developed. Am I ready to move on from Zamir White? Yeah, I love Abdullah. I think, we're going to be getting rid of a couple of guys, right? And we have a couple of young guys to bring up and maybe draft another one. But we need to pay Jacobs, keep Abdullah, and then move on from Bolden. I think we move on from Zamir White. The kid that's on our practice squad is slipping my mind right now. He has some really good potential to bring him up in the 3rd year, and then maybe draft another running back late to kind of help round that off. But yeah, there's plenty of people out here. Full show. Watts Raider. Let's see. The line is more in sync with Jacobs than White. Yeah, Watts. Not only that too, but let's be real on Zamir White this year too, right? There's been opportunity there. Okay. He's never had the opportunity in the regular season behind this first team offensive line to get any type of rhythm and to be the guy for 4 quarters like Josh does. But even Josh being Josh, and we know what we can get from Josh, right? That guy's beast, right? He is our star player on offense, in my opinion. He does it all. Blocking, catching out of the backfield, does everything, right? Even he struggled this year behind this offensive line in this system and the way things have been going. That's one argument that I will make for the kid, right? And this was supposed to be the year that he put most of it together. Do I still want him on this team? No. I don't think he's starting potential. And if you had to say pay Josh or keep Zamir, I'm paying Josh. Nick 209. Jacob's skills are Josh's skills are not well, hold on. Jacob's skills are elite, not his speed. But you'll see it. We've seen Hunter. If you guys remember the old Hunter, man, Hunter's has a couple of 65-yard touchdown receptions in his day off slants. And Hunter's not speedster, right? Jerry Rice was not known for his speed. Jerry Rice was known for his route running and his hands. And so is Devontae. Devontae's the same guy. Not known for his speed, but he just gets open, right? He has that burst. And then once the ball's in your hand and you're out there and you're making cuts and moves, it truly is all about angles. Certain angles can make up for speed. Nick 209, Marcus Allen was the same way. True. Love Marcus, man. That's my favorite offensive player growing up. Watts Raider, which is one. Hold on. Hey, Watts Raider, White is one-dimensional. Well put, Watts. Like he's a supplementary piece. He's a my star needs a break. He needs some air type of guy. You don't want him in there. But again, I'll say Watts, like we haven't fully seen Zamir White in the regular season as a full-time back. We just haven't seen him being able to develop and get in any type of rhythm. But he's a power runner. Yeah, I would like to see him on the line of scrimmage. But if you told me Jacobs or White, I'm going Jacobs every single time. So Watts Raider, we have Abdullah, yep, and McCormick. That's the other one, McCormick. We still okay at running back. No, that's the guy. I couldn't think of his name. Thanks, Watts. So we have McCormick, and he's on the practice squad. So I would like for him to come up, and he could be that guy next year. So, yeah, I mean, you got to pay Jacobs, though, right? And I think this coach and this GM, I think that's the first thing that happens in the offseason. And AP is probably going to be the biggest key to that, by the way. Watts Raider, I think Jacobs coming back too. Oh, for sure, dude. I just said that. Yeah, like, especially if AP comes back, I think he's going to want to play for the Raiders, and I think he's going to want to play for AP. And that's something that I know that's got to be in the back of Mark's mind too, right? I remember Derek Carr when we got him. I remember Derek Carr too, man. Like, I'm in the 5.59, so I knew Derek Carr. I've been in the same room as Derek Carr so many times, man, and I keep it professional depending on what the event was when he was around. And it's not like I had like access to the dude where he knows my name, I know his, obviously, but like it wasn't like that. Derek Carr is a good dude, man, and Derek Carr is just Derek Carr, right? But that was a great draft class too. That was Khalil Mack. That was Derek Carr. That was Rodney Hudson. That was a good draft class, guys, right? But at the end of the day, again, if you're not used right, you go through all these, there's a lot of things that happen to a football team from a draft class period. I remember that year I was running around. I don't know who still has their shirt. I know Raider John has one. Simone Raider has one. Silver and Black Way has one. Mikey Raider had one. It was these old like Fresno State Bulldog, Derek Carr Raider shirts that I was handing out. So I remember that draft was a fun draft. That was a fun year. Mud Tide. I remember when we got Derek Carr. People laughed. I couldn't wait to get the rookie in. And again, this is the thing that has become the Raider Nation, right? We're okay with mediocre. And sometimes we don't even recognize when it's mediocre because, and I'm not saying Derek, this is not a knock on anybody. I'm just saying that we will be okay with someone who's good, not great, because we've struggled for so many years. We'll take good over great just because we're tired of not having that. So many times we fall in love with players that leave here and don't do shit. And then there's players that don't do shit here and go on and do stuff. Yeah, so it is what it is. Mud Tide. This AOC we got gonna be fun to watch. AOC has a lot of upside. My question for AOC moving forward, can he be athletic enough to run a hybrid offense? You got it. Like I said, I don't need a guy behind the line of scrimmage that's a runner. I don't. But I need a guy that can move the pocket, make some plays with his legs, not be a speedster, but just throw on the run. That's what I'm waiting to see from AOC. If he doesn't have to, he doesn't have to. We'll see. Nick 209. I think AOC is way smart for a rookie quarterback. And again, a lot of this game is mental, and he does have the ability to be strong mentally. So that can make up for a lot of the physical attributes that we don't see from him either. So it's all got to play out. Richard Lyons in the house, brother. What's up, man? Knight, salute, brother. Salute right back at you, bro. Let's see. Mr. Took Your Soul. Salute. Just don't take my soul, okay? Salute. Ray Gonzalez. Early bird. Ray Gonzalez. I salute the nation. We must score early. That defense is no joke. Yeah, we got to be able to do what we did last week, essentially. And it's not going to be as easy as it was last week. It's going to be a little harder, which is I'm up for the challenge. I'm waiting to see these guys do it. I say I'm up for the challenge. Like it's me out there doing it, but I want to see how these guys respond. I want to see how the offense grows and implements another second week, a longer week for Bo to do his thing. So Ray, this is another good test, right? I'm not expecting them to go out there and put up 40 or even put up 30. They just got to be able to score and let the defense do its thing. This is going to be a defensively won game, in my opinion. All right, let's see. We got Rodney Jackson. What's up, Knight? What's up? What's up, Rodney? When do we focus on interior D line, right? And right tackle. Yep. And what's up with Brandon Faison? Haven't heard anything on Brandon. Obviously his injury was a little bit more extent than they played out to be. Again, that's an ego thing. I think you keep him around because remember, Patrick Graham's still here. So if Faison really has a place, they'll bring him in when need be. But I think your guys are playing pretty strong right now. I think Faison is, let him heal. Let him take the time. I like the way our corners are playing. Yeah, they're not perfect, but I think they're making turnovers and they're playing with a lot of energy. As far as focusing on the D-line and right tackle, you're not going to see anything major, big happen mid-season, especially now with the trade deadline gone. If there's anybody that good out there, we would already have them. So focusing on next season, look, really good teams draft well. And we've been that fan base that constantly looks forward to free agency because we're always drafting bad, so we always have a lot of holes. That's why, De Leon, his money was talking about. The draft was pretty solid. And you keep Champ Kellen, you keep that scouting department, and you keep all that effort that was put into changing the way that at least was done, and then you just make another solid draft class. That only gets us better. At some point, we have to stop relying on free agency. Now, to fix the D-line, because that's the thing we're looking at right now, right? We're always looking at our D-line. So these guys, they got the whole rest of the season to prove themselves. Nesta Jade, Young, Butler, can they become the guys we need them to be moving forward? That's number one. Number two, obviously we need the right tackle position to be addressed. The whole right side, in my opinion. Can we make that happen? Again, where does that fall on the priority list? Now, if for some crazy reason, and I'm not putting that out there in the universe or expecting that this season, but I'm not expecting for Aiden O'Connell to just be this all of a sudden this unstoppable force at quarterback. And I personally think, and I've been saying this for a few weeks now, I think our first pick needs to be a quarterback, regardless. I don't think we take any type of chances at this point. We need a quarterback. If we want to long-term sustain success, we need a quarterback, especially in this division. So I would take that chance. And then you could focus in after that and continue to find pieces. Maybe you use free agency for that. Maybe you find something in the second round. But I think we need to go all in on quarterback. Rots Raider, we played the Niners. Carr's first game, we won. Yeah, again, I mean, he has great talent. Oh, dude, hey, what's up, J.O.? I was there at Mark's next new stadium last week. That's pretty cool, man. I remember reading your statement too. It's a beauty. Only Only problem is there were 50% enemy fans filling the place up. And Gio, I remember you left a comment on the video, and I was going to bring it up, so I'm glad you're here. And this is something that I want to talk about. The price to go to Vegas was steep, and the biggest price that we had to pay was that. And I don't know if it'll ever be perfect, and I'm going to tell you why. My understanding of how they sell tickets, it's a lot like high school. If you go watch a high school game, right? You have home side, you have visitor side. The stadiums are set up that way. They have X amount of season tickets to sell. They can't sell out their whole stadium off season tickets. My understanding. There always has to be X amount of tickets that are sold to the open public, and there's also X amount of tickets that they offer up to opposing fans. For players primarily, usually. But you add a location like Las Vegas to the mix, that's a hot destination for all fan bases. And I think that's one of the biggest problems. Then you add to the problem of pricing everybody out. Mark's got to fix that. If Mark's making that kind of money, Mark needs to soon. I mean, I know he's got a lot of debt and a lot of bills. So going off to what you said about Mark, because I know you're not happy with Mark J.O., and I understand your frustration and your criticism of Mark. But if Mark can catch up on his bills and get some more average pricing to the stadium, that will help. Also, the other thing is Las Vegas is growing in fans in the nation, right? I know a lot of fans that have decided to actually move to Vegas for the opportunity to be closer to the team. That's the way the Raider Nation is. But it's not Oakland. It's not Fremont. It's not Hayward. It's not San Jose. It's not Gilroy. It's not Central California. It's not Southern California flying over to Oakland. It's not that yet. And the problem is most of the season ticket holders that bought those original tickets were from California. And if they had not moved to Vegas already or had the opportunity to move to Vegas, they have to put in a lot more than just those season tickets. They got to fly, drive, hotel, the whole nine. That's the biggest problem that you're seeing with the Raider numbers right now, in my opinion. And then mediocre team play. Mediocre, it's not the talent. There's plenty of talent to go see, but it's been mediocre. So we've been waiting for this thing to pop. And if it pops, it'll help. It'll help. People ain't going to want to spend money. But, J.O., I'm glad you win. I'm glad I'm still, it's on my bucket list, bro. It's on my bucket list. Is it going to happen this season? No. And I hope, because I know that there's usually, and I probably not this late into a show, but I know that there's Raider media people. So when I say the Raiders watch, trust me, the Raiders watch what people say about them. They do. Do they watch every video and hold on every word? To some of these guys, and some of those guys that they hang on to every word and follow, they actually got some perks. Right now, Graphic and his team, they're getting perks. Samoan, he's getting perks. There's a lot of people out there that are getting perks based off their content and the fact that they've been seen. Can't say I was ever there. Highly doubt it. Maybe a little bit. Now I'm just one of the guys, man. I'm fine with that. I like doing what I do. I just want to stay in my lane. Okay. But they hear what's going on. They know what needs to happen with this organization. I totally lost my train of thought of exactly where I was going with that statement. But I'm going to be honest. Like, we need to win. And there's this whole thing that I believe in, that they want to shut down. I was talking about me going to a game. But if anybody's listening right now, or anybody here, any of you guys, man, I appreciate and love you guys, man. I really do. If anybody knows somebody in the organization, not talking Mark or Champ Kelly or any of those guys. I'm talking somebody in the organization that handles the tickets and the stadium affairs and stuff like that. As somebody who has really bad vision, I'm legally blind. Like my vision is real bad, y'all. We're talking 2,700 in one eye, 2,800 in the next eye. It's really, really bad. Okay. I don't mind going for the experience, but I need to know what I'm walking into, man. So I'll probably, my first trip to Vegas will probably not to go into the stadium, but more or less maybe take the tour, talk to more people. Anybody wants to give me some insight on what's the best, what's out there for me, like, I want to go for the experience. I want to go out and hang out in Raider Nation. So my first trip, I might take a tour to kind of see what it would be like for me to see the field, number one. Number two, get the lay of the land, but I can still go and walk all the tailgates and see people, and then I'll go watch it or listen to it somewhere and just be around Raider fans. But from a visual perspective, I've actually wrote emails and haven't got any response. And I don't know, it's because trust me, dude, I deal with a lot being blind. So I don't take it personal. I just got to find a way to advocate and make something happen and make sure that if I'm going to spend that kind of money, that I at least get the feeling that I'm where I want to be. But I'm glad you made it out there, J.O. I look forward to having that experience myself. Michael Guerrero, salute night. Salute to you, Michael. J.O., my son said we gotta show them how we do it in Oakland. So we got to well, hold on, I missed that one. We got to chanting Raiders. Oh yeah, bro. That's that whole image. It's gonna show up there, bro. It's gonna show and banging hard on those seats, just like back in the day, bro. Shut the Giants up. You can still make a lot of noise, and again, the teams play help them. Right? You can keep the other team quiet, and the only thing that will keep teams from traveling and taking advantage of the Las Vegas Strip and making it a vacation and an experience, so to speak, is for the Raiders to get good enough to where you're like, I don't know if I want to go there now, and the Raiders are going to win, blah, 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 and the Raider fans, and get that image back to have that kind of control. Mud-Tide, he's going to be fine, Jason. AOC, I don't know if you're talking about AOC. No, I'm looking forward to him. J.O., AOC looked fine out there. He did. He's a very mature kid, decent quarterback, just like Derek, but stupid Mark will bring in coach number 9 and start all over next fall. I hope he don't. I hope he's learning from these lessons. I'm hoping he's learning from the Derek Carr situation. Derek had a lot of potential too, still does. Derek's shortcomings are Derek's shortcomings. A lot of the same things that he struggles with now, he struggled with in college. And that's not a knock on Derek. That's just something that Derek still has time. He's young enough to still work on. AOC, same thing. We don't really know much about the kid yet. But you're right. Coach number 9, another coach, another offensive coordinator. If Bo Hardigree does something special and AP continues to do what he does, there's a lot of pros at just keeping things the same and building off it. But recognizing, too, not just to settle for okay. We can't settle for okay no more. That's why I say we know there ain't nothing wrong about getting another quarterback to push each other. Iron sharpens iron. Mr. Took Your Soul. Salute at Michael Guerrero. Watts Raider. Yeah, these Giants fans were quiet before halftime. But, and it's just dawned on me reading that comment, too. This is a perfect example, right, of what Vegas has become. And it's going to be a fight. And it's going to be a struggle. And again, it's going to take two things, in my opinion. Well, there's a lot of factors, but two major things, right? Build a team that wins. That winning cures a lot of things. And that's not going to fix it totally, but it's going to be that way, right? The other thing is building out that fan base, and winning does that, right? So getting more people that live in Vegas that are willing to pay the money to go and support the team because it's a winner. Those are the first two things that have to happen for that to change. But make no mistake about it. The fact that there was Giants fans there to begin with tells a big story. Tells a big story. That team's only won 2 games this season. They're not a good football team this year. And everybody's hopeful, right? And they were playing the Raiders. A team that just fired their head coach, general manager, offensive coordinator, which was really not, it was a freebie job anyway. But nevertheless, they saw an opportunity to travel, hang out in Vegas. They were a 2-6 football team, or 2-7 football, or 5 football team at the time. And they still traveled to Vegas. Why? Because it's Vegas. That's our biggest sore, is that people will travel to Las Vegas, period. Just to travel to Las Vegas, let alone to be able to go because their team's playing there. F. Salgado 88, what's up, brother? You think Devontae gets more targets this week against Sauce, or less? I think Adams will get what he gets. Like, what I mean by that is, look, people called him a diva. My statement was all players are divas. Wide receivers are always open. They tend to be more vocal because they're always open type approach. And I don't think Devontae was the wrong kind of diva. He wasn't a T.O. diva, Chad Ochocinco diva. He wasn't that type of diva. He was a guy that was stating the facts. And he only had 4 targets last week. But if you watch that locker room celebration when AP was talking, man, Devontae was hype as hell. He wasn't throwing his helmet, leaving the locker room early, wasn't doing anything that. The boy just wants to win. Devontae knows that he got to just go get his regardless. And I think Bo understands that. I think AOC understands that. And I thought it was well played last week. They gave him opportunities. They gave him 50-50 balls. They recognized it when he was one-on-one and threw it to him. So they have to continue to coach the game to go his way. I don't think Devontae has a problem with that. I think Devontae's smart enough to understand when, where, and how. He understands that part of it. So I think it's going to be fine moving forward, especially if everything is positive and going the right way and your quarterback's not overthrowing you, totally missing the target. You know, you can't hit that last game. I know why he was mad. He was wide open 3 times. Jimmy couldn't get him the ball. This kid can. Watts Raider, please don't spend too much in free agency. Fact, Watts. Just draft the depth. You know, again, drafting is where it's at, brother. You and I get it. I know you get it, bro. And the thing is, you know, you take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you in free agency. You want to find some good depth pieces, but you got to build that rapport with some good drafts. Now, you know, we're not going to be able to get elite fixes to each position we need, right? And that's why I say it's key for our defensive tackles to show something, Tyree to continue to grow, right? And if this defensive line keeps playing the way like it did last week, it takes a little pressure off that. We have to fix the right side of this offensive line. Eventually, we're going to have to start revamping the offensive line, period. You know, you use it to your advantage. If there's the right price, the right player that wants to come and play for Antonio, you do it. Otherwise, it's all about drafting. Michael Guerrero, Mark Davis, 2024. It's his year. It's his year. Watts Raider. If the Raiders could just reduce the tickets, maybe 40 to 50%. And again, you know, even at 40 or 50% cheaper, you know, and this is where Mark's got to have to suck it up, buttercup, and find other ways to generate the money he's losing off his decisions. Let's be fair. You know, then that will help the pricing. But he's also taking advantage of a market. And if all these other fans, he starts with winning again. Once again, the first step is winning because he knows all these other fans are coming in and filling up the stadium. He's taking their money. I agree. We need to draft one of the stud QBs in the draft, especially because of our competition within the division. Fact, dude. Fact, Rodney. Like, again, I would say not only that, but we have no quarterbacks on this football team, but the hope and hope that the AOC becomes something, right? I don't want to sit here and say AOC has to be that guy, right? He's shown that he can be a stand-up guy. He's going to be a stand-up guy. He's going to be good in the community. He has skills. He throws a nice quick release. He's got great poise in the pocket. He's got good footwork. He's got a lot of things going for him, but we don't know whether or not he's going to be elite or that guy that measures up to Herbert and Patrick Mahomes and whoever ends up being in Denver. Denver keeps losing. Denver's going to go out and get one of those elite guys, right? But AOC, we can't base it all off one quarterback. Look, I highly doubt that we keep Jimmy next year. I think we take the pay cut hit or the hit on the cap and we move on from Jimmy. The same with Hoyer. There's no sense of having these dinosaurs on backing him up. I mean, if you truly think you want to save the money and keep Jimmy around for a year, I don't advise it because you could still get some of that money back and put it somewhere else. That can really go right to Josh, to be honest with you. And we're in business. But we need backup quarterbacks anyway. Draft studs. Create serious competition. Get the best out of every player. If AOC's him, he will win. he'll be the starter regardless. Watts, I'm out, Knight. Brother, dude, it was great seeing you. Be easy, bro. You be easier. Let's get this W for sure, man. Look forward to meeting up, Watts. I know I got you. Oh, followed up right by Raider John. Raider John and Watts back to back, dude. I love that. We'll hook up, man. We'll hook up. Raider John's in the house. Let's see. DA wants results. For his sacrifice, or get him the damn ball. Enough said. And they will. And I thought the game plan, and obviously just by his reaction and his energy, he was fine with it too. Like, dude, he was straight up fine with it, bro. Like I thought it was a perfect game plan. They took the shots. They gave him opportunities. They took advantage of his one-on-ones when they were there. And again, Devontae is just looking for the team to be heading in the right direction. Right decisions being made. And last week was a domino effect of good decision after good decision after good decision. Just got to keep it going, man. That's it. Michael Guerrero, Bo knows 2.0. That's what I was saying too, man. That's kind of what I'm excited for, bro. Like, they could totally run a campaign. If this guy works out and continues to build an offense that is to be talked about moving forward, hell yeah, dude. Bo knows, right? Got 31 likes up in here, man. I appreciate it. It's 24 of you guys still watching. I know I'm running a little longer. Look, I thought I'd have some coffee. I think I took 3 sips. Goes to show you how much I like to talk, but I'm usually working right now, dude. So, I mean, this would be my dream. If I had it my way, I would have at least the mornings off so I could do a morning show every single day and just talk Raider football. Maybe one day. Maybe when I retire and I have that thing set up, that could be my hobby when I retire. Rodney Jackson, I agree. We need, I think I already read that one. Ooh. Maybe not. Hold on, let me go back up here. So there's this one. Oh, J.O. Must win Sunday, J.O. For sure. Must win Sunday night. Beat the Jets. And anything is possible. If not, season over. You know, we're still holding in. And I suggest this to everybody, right? We could be real and we could say that it's going to be a struggle because that's the truth. It's going to be a struggle. But the fact of the matter is the door is still wide open. The door is still wide open. We still got to pay Kansas City twice. And the talent's there. The talent's been there for a while, especially offensively. The defense has played good enough to give us opportunities. So the offense continues to grow. Hey, ride until we die, bro. F. Salgado 88. I don't think we're going to be in a spot for a top QB in the draft. You can make it. You can make that happen. No, I have a comment to that, brother. Quarterback in the draft. Williams, Mayer, Penix, and Bo Nix will likely be gone by the time we pick. But this is where we need to be aggressive. The regimes we've had in the past, look, how bad do you want it? Like, there's a lot of money being paid out from this organization to people that are no longer here. So you got to save money. This is the right time. You're saving a bit of money by giving up some of these picks that we got. Put ourselves in that situation. First this year, first next year, hell, even a first. Give up 3 first-round picks if you have an opportunity for a guy that you think could be game-changing. The reason we didn't get Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, the opportunity at least to have them last year, is because nobody wanted to do the business with the Raiders. And I highly doubt it was because it was the Raiders. I think it was solely because, you know, they didn't want to give up. You know, I like my draft. Look, I like draft picks too. And we need a lot of work. So try to use those draft picks wisely. But if you look at what this organization is right now, with only one quarterback, and we don't know exactly how that's going to turn out yet, you got to take your opportunities when you can. You make the call, and you might be dead on right? Because we're not going to be in that situation, Salgado, right? We're not going to be in that situation just to be able to land one of those guys naturally. So the next thing you could do is make that phone call, and you got to ask yourself, is this it? Because AOC is all we got, dude. Jimmy G, Brian Hoyer. So then we go out and get a couple more scrubs just to fill a roster spot? Or do you make the move, create competition on your football team? Worst case scenario, you got 2 stud quarterbacks. And if that chooses to be the case, we've seen other teams do it where we trade one of them back and get some capital back and get the following year, if we fix the quarterback problem, then we have draft bait to go and get that defensive lineman, that tackle, whatever it is that's going to be a game changer in the next year's draft. That's my philosophy. It's probably why I'm not a GM, but it is what it is. Which quarterback in the draft do we get after? And do we take the initiative to do whatever it takes to get our man? That's what I was just talking about, Ronnie. Yeah, I think that you do. I think you have to put a cap on it, right? You have to put a cap on it at some point and say, this is what, but you got to raise that bar a little bit. Because I still say right now, even with some of the troubles we have across the offensive line in the defensive tackle spot, we need more competition at quarterback. We're not going to find the answer in free agency at quarterback. We're just not. So, at this point, it's not about developing AOC because AOC has already been in a system. He's dealing with the same, if you keep Bo Hardegree especially, that's positive moving forward for AOC. What he needs is competition. He needs someone to raise the level of his game or vice versa. So I'm with, dude, I think you take the initiative and you go out there and you make something happen if it's reasonable, right? My boy G Warb is usually in here talking this game. This would be his conversation right now, but I tell you what, he has been mentioning Caleb Williams a lot because Caleb Williams is showing his colors. Look, nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed. You're always going to be basing your draft pick, especially that number 1 pick at quarterback, if that's what you choose to do. You're going to be basing it off potential first. Because transitioning over from college to the NFL is not always guaranteed. Now, you got certain talent that shows itself. Jalen Carter, that's why we're so mad. Jalen Carter is one of those. And you see CJ Stroud's strengths. You see the strengths of Bryce Young. But that doesn't mean that that's always going to be the case. They're still not shown that they're going to be that person, So I say, you make a run for one of those guys. I don't think that you have to go up to the number 1 pick and grab Caleb Williams or Drake May or anything like that. I don't think you have to be that aggressive if you don't want to. You don't want to pay the big price. But we should be able to get up there somehow and get something. D. Nightwalker, think one of the big problems is that Mark doesn't know what type of team he wants. That's a good one, D. Nightwalker. He just wants to win right now and won't take the time to build an identity. Hope AP makes him change that. Dude, that is such a great statement because I think you're truly onto that, right? He's going to go and he went and grabbed Jack Del Rio, Oakland guy. He was thinking, Jack's going to, defense, he's going to bring this back. And then he always wanted John Gruden, right? So he went out and got John because John was his boy anyway, and he wanted to relieve yesteryears. Like we all want that ex-girlfriend. Like once you break up, you start thinking about the last thing you had, right? So you always go to that. When last time we were good and really relevant, we had John Gruden. And he's my friend. I'm going to give him $10 million in 10 years, and he could be the general manager. He can have this whole thing. He's going to make it happen. He's looking for someone. He's looking for a quick fix, dude. That's all he's doing. And he's going to have to build something. And that, I think there's some stuff in place that can make that transition very easy if everything else works out. Ronnie Jackson, maybe I'm not a GM material neither, right? Because I think like you, whatever it takes, do it. Yeah. Maybe Champ Kelly is listening. And again, dude, Rodney, like be smart about it. I'm not saying like go in there completely and just willing to give up anything and everything in your next kin, your next born or anything like that. I'm just saying like, if you see the need that needs to be filled and you see that it's there, then you do it. Like so many teams have done it. A year in and year out, we see that one team that's willing to sell out because they believe that this guy in some way, shape, or form is going to change their franchise, either on the field with wins or financially. And I think we're making enough money that you don't do it for financial purposes. You got to look at it and say, there's a list of them, right? Rattler, Pennox, May, Williams. There's a lot of guys coming out next year. You don't have to go up to number one, but you have to go get one of those guys to raise the level of competition in our quarterback room now. Because Jimmy ain't going to be here. Brian ain't going to be here. We got AOC and nothing else. I don't want to go get any one of these backup quarter. I mean, and that could be your third guy that you bring in. But I think our second guy, because AOC is probably going to be the dude next year. Let's face it. Let's say nothing changes. Let's say we get our wish. AP, Bo Hardegree, Patrick Graham, Champ Kelly. Let's say that's the new face of this Raider Nation, Raider team, and we're moving forward, right? AOC's got the shoe in right now. He's working with Bo. He's developing, and if he continues to show what he's been showing, he's probably going to be the guy that gets the first nod offseason, training camp. That's your dude. So you want to start bringing in people because he's only his second year, bro, right? So you want to continue to find competition, push the narrative, and find the right guy. This is the time to do it. We should not just give it all to AOC just because he's AOC. Make the move now. Rodney Jackson, that last regime didn't do enough or next to nothing, especially in the quarterback position, in my opinion. AOC was not a bad pick. AOC is turning out to be a very solid pick of where we picked AOC, and it's really starting to look like this cat has the tools. But so many guys look like they have the tools. Daniel Jones, guy that we just faced, bro. He had an excellent season last year. They paid him a crap load of money, bro, for him to fall on his face. Nothing in this league is fully guaranteed. You have to know when to strike. And just because AOC is there and looks promising doesn't mean we shouldn't strike. We need to go and get that guy. I'm sticking to it, man. I'm sticking to it until we can't. Now I know it's not something that you could just guarantee. It's easier said than done is what I'm getting at. You know, a lot of people give ex-people that have been here crap for not doing what it takes to go, like last year. You know, whether it was CJ Stroud, whether it was Bryce Young, like why didn't you just, well, again, you have to set your limits. We don't have to agree with it. You just have to make something happen. And I think it's more desperate now than then because we don't have an egotistical guy who thinks he could take anybody and make them a quarterback. Was it true? Were they depending on Tom Brady? That has been a reported fact for a while, Rodney. They really thought that they had a chance for Tom Brady. That Tom Brady retirement video, it really blew Josh got desperate. Josh knew that he had to make a move. I mean, there's reports that they circled back for Derek Carr even. That's how desperate he was. He settled for Jimmy G. Now reports are coming out that Ziegler didn't want it. And again, this is all water under the bridge to me. It's irrelevant at this point, but it just goes to show you who was really running this football team. That's what we need to get away from. You should not be having these arguments, especially in year 2, with a guy that this don't work. So if there's anything, right, anything that I want to take away from our situation right now, whether it's AP or not, I want a chain of command. Period. I don't want package deals. Screw that. So first thing you need to decide, Mark, if you're going to have someone who manages the operation of the football team, football operations guy first, right? If that's going to be the way you do it, and maybe that's Tom Brady, fine. I really don't give a shit, dude. I'm not saying that's the best move or that might be something that he's already doing anyway. Who knows? He's still got, they have a relationship. It is what it is. But then the next move is you hire that GM to be the guy that hires the coach, et cetera, et cetera. Have that chain of command. So if it's Champ Kelly, right? And I'm just using Tom Brady as an example. I'm not saying that's what I want or that's what's going to happen, but he's trying to find a way to implement Tom in this organization, right? So let's say he says, Tom, I want you to kind of help me with this. You find our next GM. Then Tom needs to hire the GM, but he needs to empower the GM. And this is where I think Tom might have an ego too. I don't know. We'll see. But then that GM has to be in charge of the head coach. And then the head coach needs to be in charge of his staff, building his staff, right? So now your offensive coordinator, your defensive coordinator, and we have that set up right now. In my opinion, that's the way it's set up right now, right? Let's go from the bottom up. Bo Hardegree, Patrick Graham. Those are our coordinators, right? AP is the head coach who's in charge of both those. So they got to answer to him. So as long as AP's on board, which I think he already is, and what's happening and what they're implementing, then that's what you stick with. Now, Champ Kelly, he's in charge of Antonio Pierce. Antonio Pierce has to answer to Champ Kelly. So Champ Kelly can be the one to say, hey, how come you're not saying anything to Bo? He needs to fix this, or blah, 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 right? That's the way that this usually should work. Chain of command. And then Champ Kelly has to answer to someone else, which, right now it's Mark Davis, right? So Mark, he's got to answer to Mark. Now Mark's acting like, I don't know football. So you need, if you need a middle guy there, then that's what you do. Right? But that's the type of chain of command that makes everybody look over their shoulder, right? But when you bring in a John Gruden, Josh McDaniels, and you got these types of coaches that think that they want to be all of that, who are they accountable to? Who are they accountable to? Who was John Gruden truly accountable to? That was he had a 10-year contract. Who was he accountable to? Nobody. Sure, Mark's the owner, but they were buddies. Yeah, Mark, you're gonna okay, yeah, John, do it for me, John. Just being real. You gotta have accountability in everything. If you have a job, you have a boss. Your boss has a boss, and all the way up. Usually, big corporations, the CEO is the top of the food chain, right? But even they have a board of directors and investors that they have to answer to. Everybody has somebody to answer to or a committee to answer to. That is just the way this thing needs to be. 23, you still in here, 32 likes. I appreciate you, man. I'm going to bounce out. I got some stuff to get ready to. I'm going to be going on a trip real quick. Anybody that's, especially if you're watching this secondhand, I know it's been a while. I don't even know how long I've been on. Probably a long time. Dude, I'm almost hitting 2 hours, bro. I'm already putting myself behind the 8 ball, but it's all right. I'm heading off to Florida next week. The videos will look a little sporadic and a little different. I'll definitely be on here Sunday night talking about the game. We'll figure out how we do that and when and how and all that goes. Then I'm off to Florida, independently blind. We're heading out there to Florida. We're doing the Project Athena Challenge. We are kayaking and biking from Fort Lauderdale, Florida to Key West. I'll be documenting all that. That will be showing up on the Independently Blind channel. I will be talking about it and showcasing some stuff here because this is going to help us and help these kids as we move forward. Great show. Thank you, Mr. Took Your Soul. Appreciate it. And thank you for letting me keep my soul, man. I appreciate that. But as we look forward, I want to implement to you and have a chance for you guys to sponsor some of these kids through memberships, through views, through sharing. So the best thing that you can do right now to help these kids is simply share the video, watch the videos, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, get the word out there. And then as I develop things behind the scenes for this channel, all proceeds are going to go to supporting these kids. I have a full-time 8 to 5. I do what I do. So laugh out loud. Right? And so just if it's something you're interested in, if you want to support and give to a channel that is going to showcase you what he's doing. So I'm not just going to be telling you I'm supporting this organization. No, I'm the head of the organization I'm supporting. I have videos. I already have commentary that I'll be sharing to people who do support of the kids that they're impacting. And then, as they get ready and these kids want to talk, you'll hear from them too. And make sure that they say thank you to the Raider Nation. So keep that in mind as you watch this channel and you wonder what it's about. It's a Raider fan to Raider fan. This is a Raider channel. And I'm just trying to support a cause of something that I deal with. I've been dealing with since I was 15, and that's sight loss. So I appreciate every single one of you for all your support. Watching the show is what counts. watching the show, hitting that like button, that subscribe button. Everything else is secondary. We'll make it happen. Because either way, I'm a Raider fan, baby. I'm ready. I love this, dude. So I'm going to be doing this regardless. So, Mr. Took Your Soul, appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you. Ronnie Jackson, brother, I appreciate you, brother. Nick 209, my boy, I appreciate you, dude. J.O., man, I'm so glad you caught the live and was able to get your thoughts out there. I appreciate you. All right, let's see. Who else? D. Nightwalker, always, brother, I appreciate you. Watts Raider was in the house tonight. Watts, my boy, I appreciate you. Raider John, my boy, my dog, appreciate you, bro. F. Salgado 88, I appreciate it, bro. Robert Pena, Ray Gonzalez, appreciate all you guys, man. Dark, Michael Guerrero, appreciate you guys, man. You guys have no idea. Watts, Raider John, man, those are my dudes, man. We've been rocking for a long time. We've known each other up in this thing. We met here, and that relationship continues. I appreciate both those guys. Let's see. Fire Bro was in the house tonight. Fire Bro, I appreciate you, bro. So much love, so much respect, and all the support that you've shown me, bro. Greg Atkins, brother, right back at you, dude. You already know. Mud Tide was in the house, bringing some great topics to the table. I really appreciate you, Mud Tide. All right, who else do we got here? J.O.'s in the place. Michael Guerrero, Nick 209. I hit all these guys. You guys were just on fire today. Ronnie, you guys were on fire. Ray Gonzalez, always. These are my boys right here, man. Keeping it real. We had Raider Nation Jesse in the house tonight. Appreciate you, Raider Nation Jesse. Richard Lyon was also in the house tonight. Appreciate you, bro. I say tonight, man. I'm so used to doing night shows this morning. We'll get it right, bro. We'll get it right. We'll get it kicking. Mud Tide. Appreciate you, Mud Tide. Appreciate everybody that was here helping the show flow. It really means a lot. Raider Nation Jason's in the house. Great show. Thank you, Raider Nation Jason. You're my boy, man. Appreciate all the support you give, brother. Yes, sir. SL Gatto, take care, brother. Take care to you. Edgar was in the house. Go to Edgar V. Long time. Great show. Thank you, Edgar. Appreciate you, bro, on all your support. Raider Combo, great show. Later night. Take care, brother. No, take care to you. I'll be seeing you guys from Florida next. All right, guys. Till then, stay Raider strong. Night out.